PGA Tour Champions Learning Center. Brought to you by Tour Edge Exotics.
Hi, and welcome to Learning Center. I'm Vince Cellini, and we hope you are safe and well wherever you are. And our special guest is the three-time PGA Tour Champions winner, Billy Andrade, who's catching up on some light reading. I see. Billy.
Hi. Hey, Vince. How are you?
Good. I didn't know.
Hey, I have a question first
Yeah.
for you. We had some bad storms that came through Atlanta. It was north of us last week, and then last night we got some more. I'm just checking on you guys. You guys okay up there?
We are fine up here north of Atlanta, yes, but we did get hit pretty hard, so everything's A-okay. Thank you very much.
Awesome. So what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Same question for you. You know, we're in the Atlanta area, and last week we were supposed to have the Mitsubishi Electric Classic here, but of course that was canceled in Duluth because of the COVID pandemic. So here we sit, and I'm wondering how you're holding up.
Yeah, well, it's been hard on everybody. I really feel bad for like my daughter Grace, who isn't going to graduate in May. For kids that maybe weddings that they're going to have in the next month or so, and then you have sports. And I think we're all going a little crazy, but we're trying to make the best of it. This is a very serious situation that we're in. I don't think that most athletes, most people that travel with their business have ever spent this much time at home. So you have to make do, and that's what we're doing. And it's all we know. It's all good. It's all good.
Well, you know better than most, Billy, about any possible changes or adjustments to the PGA Tour Champions schedule. You're a member of the Player Advisory Council, and I wonder what you could share with us about any updates whatsoever, or at least what some of the plans might be.
Yeah, well, we've been in constant contact with Miller Brady, our president. All the players that are on the advisory council have been on board. So we've had 12 guys on the phone with Miller talking about the next step. What are we doing next? We haven't talked in a couple weeks, but it's kind of like next tournament up. The U.S. Senior Open is now canceled, so now we're into July. Hopefully, we can get to Firestone and the Senior Players Championship. Hopefully, we can get to Michigan to the Allied Championship, but it's just a wait and see process. Unfortunately, Mitsubishi Electric, where I live, where you live, it's an easy, fun week for us to not have it here with the weather being so nice. It was beautiful last week. It would have been a great time to have the event. That's been canceled. So, at the back end of our season, that's where it's really going to get interesting. We're going to have, I think, 12 or 13 weeks in a row, and having 12, 13 weeks in a row, it's hard when you play the PGA Tour. Never mind playing the Champions Tour.
Yeah, that'll lead me to a question about that stretch drive. That's a pretty heavy lift for guys who have been playing a lot of golf for a lot of years, right? So how do you mentally get yourself up for that? What's looming in the distance?
Well, you just gotta just hang in there, and hopefully you don't get hurt. I think that's the biggest thing is being physically fit and being able to play 13 in a row. The last time I did that, Vince, was my rookie year in 1988 on the PGA Tour. I played the last 13 tournaments in a row to try to keep my card. And
what was that like?
That was a stretch at age 22. So I don't know if I can play all 13. I don't know if everybody can, but I know that we've got the support of all the players that we decided to do this route. So we had a couple tournaments that have been postponed. The region's tradition is now at the end of September. And also in September, we have there's another tournament I'm missing that's rescheduled as well. I forget. But anyway, we have all these tournaments at the end, and it's going to be a fight to the finish, hopefully.
The PGA Tour has announced that they want to return in June. And in those events at this time, there will not be fans at those events. Opinions vary about holding these golf events without fans, and I was wondering if I could get yours.
Yeah, I don't know, Vince. I don't know. I don't know if June is a realistic goal for everybody to get back out and play again. I think it's going to, what is the new normal? What's normalcy, getting back to being normal? I don't think we ever will. I think we're going to have this new normal, and it's going to be very tough to get on an airplane, very tough to stay at a hotel. When you're at a tournament and there's no fans, it's a different feeling. I remember a few years ago doing TV for the Golf Channel, a mini tornado-ish kind of burst went through Congressional Country Club at Tiger Woods' event, the Quicken Loans, and they didn't have any fans on Saturday, maybe not Saturday or Sunday, and it was just eerie. It was just real quiet. The energy level's not the same, but the first and foremost, we want everybody to be safe. We don't want any player or caddy or volunteer or anybody that's at the tournament, a cook, people that serve you food, the people in the locker room, to get sick or get COVID-19. And then if you do that, then you're going to have to shut this whole thing down. So hopefully they can do it. I'm very skeptical that it might be too early, but only time will tell. And hopefully soon enough, we can get back out there on the links.
I was checking on what you were talking about, the postponement. The Principal Charity Classic is the one that's been rescheduled for September. So which is
a great event in Des Moines. They do such a wonderful job there. Des Moines is a great city. They get everybody that rallies around the tournament. We get great attendance. So hopefully we can play there with fans as well.
Brooks Koepka had an interesting comment in a recent interview about playing without fans. He said, if you don't have fans and you maybe don't have grandstands, he said, you're going to have higher scores because you could lose balls. I mean, guys may actually lose balls, and that's going to cost them. You guys get to play off grandstands. We don't, the hoi polloi over here. So that's an interesting point as well, isn't it?
That is an interesting point, and it's true. You could, a lot of holes, especially the last few holes in tournaments, there's grandstands all around the green. The one that comes to mind to me is Doral down in Miami when we used to play down there. The 18th hole was surrounded by a grandstand, and behind it was the hotel and the clubhouse and everything, and it's out of bounds. You don't want to come up short because you're going to hit it in the water. So, best case scenario is if you're in one of the bunkers, or you have a fly or lie out of the rough, just bomb it, hit it over the green, and hit it in the grandstands. You'll get a little drop, and you can maybe get it up and down for 4, but that's a good point by Brooks. I agree with that. I'm excited that Brooks came up with that. That's something I never would have thought of.
See, he's not just lifting; he's thinking too. So
That's right.
He's doing both. A little bit of something about majors on the PGA Tour Champions schedule. The Open Championship was canceled, but not so the Senior Open presented by Rolex in Sunningdale in England, which has been postponed. Can you offer anything on that particular tournament? Could we see that rescheduled possibly?
I sure hope so. The only problem is, Vince, is I don't know where we can fit it in our schedule at the end of the year. There's really no open dates at the moment. I don't know if we play our Schwab Cup. I'm just throwing this out, just spitballing. Playing our Schwab Cup, and then the next week go over to the British Senior Open and play at Sunningdale after November, whenever the second week in November when we finish in Phoenix. I don't know, maybe that's a scenario because of the Staysure Tour. It's a big event for them. They're probably their biggest event as far as money goes. Actually, money goes, it's the biggest event for them on the Staysure Tour over in Europe. So maybe they're thinking of doing something after our season's over. I don't know. I haven't been in discussions. We haven't heard anything about that. But I do know that from the end of August to the end of our season, we don't have any open dates. So I don't know what other scenario could be possible in that situation. It's really sad. You brought up the U.S. Senior Open. It's really sad, for me personally, on a selfish note, because I grew up in Rhode Island along with Fax and Brett Quigley and a slew of other great pros that are up in that area that we're not able to play a major at home at Newport Country Club, where a golf course that is just dear to my heart. It's one of the best in the country. And I do know that the USGA doesn't have a tournament in 21, 22, 23. So 23, 24 is open. Maybe the USGA and Newport Country Club can get us back in that rotation back there. quicker, better than never. You would love to definitely go back, and I know the USGA would love to go back, and so maybe we can get to Newport a lot faster than the normal way.
Oh yeah, that would be wonderful to get to go back to Rhode Island. Of course, like you said, your home state. And speaking of which, the CVS Health Charity Classic, which you co-host with Brad Faxon, that takes a little bit of a hit too. But how were you able to sort of maybe salvage some of the charitable contribution there? What have you done as a safety net sort of thing?
That's a great question, and that's something that we're in talks with CVS now. Right now, they got a lot on the table, being a health organization trying to help with this COVID-19 virus. So we're going to do some different things, hopefully, to be able to help our charitable partners, because at the end of the year, when you give a bunch of money out, we've given over $25 million to charity. These charities really need it, and especially in these times. So we're going to bang our heads and make sure we do some good things for them.
Yeah, I know you will. What are you hearing, sort of percentage-wise? Just don't have to nail it down, but where guys stand on trying to, hey, I want to get back, I want to play, or other guys are a little more cautious, like yourself. I mean, generally, what's the opinion from guys on your tour?
I haven't spoken to a lot of guys except our pact, and I would say that we all want to play. We all want to get out there as quickly as we can. I'm more cautious saying that, or more skeptical saying that, I don't know, can we really go back without a vaccine, without something in place where we're not carrying it? We don't know if we're carrying the virus, that we can get somebody else sick if we're sick. We don't know if we're sick. I mean, there's so many things out there that we don't know anything about. So until then, I'm saying I don't know how we can get back to playing as quickly as what the tour wants. I would love to get back and play next week if we could, but there's a lot on the table that we need to have shored up before we can get back to this new normal.
Yeah, and for a guy like you, I know you really have been adhering to the stay-at-home type deal, but you're a guy that plays, you play almost every event and have, right, since you've joined PGA Tour Champions. So this must be, I don't know, in a way maddening, in a way restful. I don't know, what is it for you, and how are you occupying your time for a guy who really does enjoy being out there?
Yeah, it's hard. It's something that I've never been through before, and I know a lot of people, most people haven't. But basically, my workout routine, or my routine at home, has been right here playing a little bit of gin, playing a bunch of gin against my wife and my daughter. As you can see, here's my new trainer. This is Zelda.
Yeah.
Zelda's been taking care of my wind sprints, and I put something on Twitter the other day where she's faster than I am, for sure.
Yeah, she looks ready. She looks very ready right now.
Yeah, over here, every day I play the birthday game with my daughter and my wife and a couple of Grace's friends. So we have to guess and see, everybody's birthdays. Like today, Carmen Electra today is 48 years old.
You're kidding.
Yeah. And then over here it's one of the puzzles. I did this puzzle. I'm working on this. I got another one inside that I've been working on. I've never done a puzzle in my life. This is absolutely maddening stuff right here. And then we'll go out back.
You know what? Let's sponsor this. This will be What's Your Edge, presented by Tour Edge Exotics, as we head outside.
Awesome. So out back here, I have a putting green. And this is what's real important. This is what's really important, Vince, is that I had to borrow a bike from my niece, Meredith Dunlap. And I had to borrow a helmet, and that's my workout routine, is going through the neighborhood here in Brookhaven and going up and down the hills and trying to get some exercise in that way. I have a workout facility down in the basement where it's not very big, but I go down there occasionally. I got a treadmill and a life cycle and some weights, and I do some small weights. But out here, I like being outside. Out here, this is one of those speeder shafts where it's heavy. So I come out here. It's a beautiful day today. I come out here and just, swing away just to try to stay flexible, just to try to stay as flexible as I can. I haven't played golf since the Newport Beach event.
Oh, wow.
I played one time, actually. I haven't played since. So it's been tough. And then I come out here and I putt. I got a bunch of different putters and stuff, and I'll sit here and just pass some time away just practicing some putting.
When you're doing that, how do you practice with a purpose with your putting there? What do you do in order to, to make this, to translate this to actual tournament play?
Yeah, I just play little games and stuff. I try to make as many 5-footers, 3-footers, 7-footers as I can. It's really hard when you know that you don't know what the end result is. Are we going to play in 3 weeks? If we're playing in 3 weeks, then I'll have more of a purpose. But it's really hard right now, not knowing when we're going to play and getting back into that practice mode. It's more of a mental thing, that mental mode. Right now, it's trying to play as many different games as I can, just to pass the time, really.
Well, just in a nutshell, if you could take us through maybe your putting routine, something you could help our viewers with, if they're during the course of their particular round.
Sure. Let's go over here. So for me, my putting routine is try to be as natural, as athletic, as simple. All the things that Brad Faxon has talked about, and he's one of the best putters I ever saw and grew up with. And he's always he always talks about feel and having a good routine. So, my routine after I look from behind the ball, and I get up to it, is to do everything the same. So I'll look at the hole, take one practice, look at the hole, come back, and go. And doing that kind of frees me up. It's all about freeing yourself up. If you're on the free throw line and you're shooting free throws, the best free throw shooters, Ray Allen, Steph Curry, they look so fluid doing it, and it's the same routine every time. And that's the same thing in putting. Good putters have great flow, and you have to have a good routine. If I look at Crenshaw, I look at Faxon, I look at guys that are great putters. They all have that nice flowing routine, which is they get up to it and boom, they let it go, and they let it go. You don't want to. And my analogy would be in basketball, Shaquille O'Neal on the free throw line. He looks so awkward. He just can't quite get it. You look at bad putters. Bad putters don't have great routines. You don't want to be a hitter. You want to be you want to have that like paintbrush go through and be just kind of a natural flow to it. And the best putters I've ever seen is guys that do that.
Paintbrush. I like that. I'm going to use that, Billy. Thank you. So the facial hair, is it going to stay?
This is second time around. I've shaved once. I did one interview with a full beard like this. Then I went to a mustache. That lasted about 24 hours. Then my wife was kicking me out. And then I went clean shaven for the third one, and now it's back again. And it's just a laziness thing, isn't it? Just everybody's doing it. I saw a few pictures, Retief Goosen and Vijay Singh on Twitter or Instagram or something with their COVID-19 look, and they look terrible. So I think we all look terrible. It's really bad, but what can you do?
Everybody has that sort of castaway look that they're going with. I know that Zelda sprinted with you. I won't ask you to sprint again because we saw it on Twitter, but how much of that speed training has paid off? There it is. How much of that speed training has paid off? And what would you say your 40 time is as we're close to the NFL?
If I can do it in 10 seconds, I'm pretty good. I think maybe I don't want to go any harder than that because I don't want to hurt myself. But if I was in a race with Zelda, she'd win 10 out of 10. That's for sure.
Before I let you go, your beloved New England Patriots, it's the end of an era now.
It is.
As the great Tommy is gone.
Tommy's gone. We got a whole new regime. I'm really excited. I'm so excited for Tom. with his new trying to climb the mountain with a new team. I'm excited for the Patriots, to see if if this dynasty can stay intact with a new person at the helm. I'm really rooting for Belichick and the Patriots and see how they do, and I'm now a kind of a Buccaneer fan, and I hope that they do well. So all these changes in the NFL is kind of cool to see these different quarterbacks going to different places. It's going to be interesting, and I hope we're able to watch.
Are you convinced Jarrett Stidham's the guy, or do you think maybe the Patriots try to move up from 23 overall? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. We're just going to have to wait and see. I don't know if he's the guy. I really don't know much about him. I know he was a transfer into Auburn and had a pretty good senior year. I don't know, maybe he left after his junior year, and then the Patriots got him. And it's going to be interesting to see if it's a system or if it's the actual player. Jacoby Brissett came in on a couple games and did well. Garoppolo came in and did well in a couple games, but we're just going to wait and see. It's I still think they'll break. I know that they signed Hoyer, and I know they got it. They have to draft a quarterback. I don't know, this kid Love from the West Coast, maybe. We'll have to.
Utah State guy, Jordan. Is it Jordan Love? Yeah, and I saw maybe Jacob Eason or Jake Fromm, possibly if they fall. Who knows? But the Patriots are always good at plugging in those gaps. I can't thank you enough, Billy. Stay safe.
Take care.
All right, take care.